I'll answer the question about the dollars, and at the governor's discretion, whichever questions you wish me to answer. On the dollars, this investment represents $4 million additional beyond our previously announced money. The sources, Kathy, per your question, FEMA. We worked hard to ensure FEMA eligibility for some of these developments, for some of these beds. CDBG, Community Development Block Grants, which are available in some cases for these purposes, and the original conveyance tax fund, not the new increment, but the original conveyance tax fund that flows through the Housing Resources Commission. Once again, a collection of sources to get the job done at $4 million.
You want me to do that, Kevin? Well, thank you for that question. No, I say, look, we are listening to anybody who wants to talk about the issue, but I think it's a little presumptive to think that any one group got us here today. So we're listening to everybody, but again, I'm more than happy to work with the people who are willing to do the work, and that's why we're here today, because the people in this room right now are willing to do the work.
Governor, does this plan meet the scale of the problem as it exists? I mean, are we...
At the moment, as defined, it does. It's a helter-skelter approach for sure, as we're patchworking things together, and that's why I think that we need to be working on a plan so that we're not repeating this scramble every year. So that's something that we're committed to do. But at the moment, based on what we've been told, based on what the coalition has told us to, serve in terms of number of available beds, this should do that unless some changes happen. But we're always willing to address as those changes happen.
We're sitting on a pile of ARPA money right now that could theoretically address this issue. Are any plans in place to spend more of that? We're talking $30 million as a down payment. How much more could theoretically come in?
Yeah, so I don't think that you could put a dollar number on it until you get a plan. I think that both the Rhode Island Foundation and I agree that we need a plan. We're not going to spend dollars just to spend dollars unless it's in an emergency like we're facing today. So housing issues and running the gamuts from homelessness to fair market housing and everything in between certainly should be part of the efforts that's coming through those APRA funds. We just don't know how to detail the dollar number.
Governor, while there was an encampment now, there was an encampment back in September 9th on the other side of the State House. How would you respond to criticism that you should have acted sooner? You've been hearing the calls for this. And also, do you support Jennifer's idea of the right to shelter that they have in Massachusetts, that legislation?
Yeah, well, any legislation that comes in that's favorable to the conditions to help people in the state of Rhode Island, we'll take a real strong look at that if it gets to my desk. Again, I like I said, it is very presumptive for any one group to say that they're driving the issue, especially with all the hard work that's in this room. I'll just repeat. We're willing to work with anyone who's willing to do the work.
Senator Mendez has called you cruel, both here in interviews with me and on national television. Matt Brown, a number of times, has said it's the policy of Dan McKee for people to sleep on the street and freeze to death. It's a human issue. What's your human response to that kind of criticism?
Well, I think I'm not going to talk back about personal attacks during this time frame that we all know why those personal attacks are coming. But I would just say, look, everybody in this room has been committed to helping people their entire lives. That's no different with me.
Thanks, everyone.